Hello. Um, I'm not sure where to start here. I'm making this video for my sons. Hi, boys. Today is, what is it, November? It is November 6th, 2025. My sons are Magnus and Lucas, and they're my pride and joy. I don't really know why I'm uploading this. I'm going through a lot right now, boys. Me and your mom just split up pretty recently, and we tried to reconcile, and Daddy kind of messed that up, and she's with someone else now. That's not what this is about. This is I just want this for posterity, in case something ever happens to me. And I don't know that it will, but inevitably it will. But this way, if I'm not around and I make enough of these videos, maybe AI can at least create a version of me that you can talk to if you want it. Magnus, you're 2.5 years old right now, and you're the most precious thing in the world. You're the sweetest creature. Lucas, you're about 17 months old right now, and you're perfect. You're both perfect. I love you guys so much. There's a story I need to tell you, though. Maybe about how your mom and I met. We met online, and we met at a place called the Cedar Park Beer Market. And we clicked. I think we talked for like 8 hours, and she was the love of my life. And we had kind of a rocky go of it. Magnus, when you were a couple weeks old, me and your mom, we had split up. I thought forever, and I saw a girl behind her back. I was living at home, so I was single to me. She was single, but you were still here. I'm not ever single when you're still here, Magnus. I met another girl, and we fooled around, and I didn't think much of it. Shortly thereafter, me and your mother reconciled, and we got back together. I moved back into her place, and I took her dad's truck and took her son, Gunner, who's a great kid. He's your brother. I took him to school in her dad's truck, and then I went into Austin, and I sold some pot, and I met that girl one more time, and we fooled around again, and that was the last time. I drove home and washed off the guilt or the shame. I tried to, and I couldn't. Shortly thereafter, your mother was on Facebook and found this girl, and this girl let her know that we were together well into me and Danielle being peaceable. We were happy, and your mother, she kind of lost it. She wasn't really the same after that, and I broke her heart. And I don't know why she ever took me back, but she did. We went through some ups and downs, and the downs are really down because she could remember that infidelity. And there's not really much coming back from infidelity. Once trust is broken, it's broken. And well, you were born. You were born January 13th, long before all this happened, and it was the happiest time of my life, Magnus. You were a teeny little baby, and it was like everything in the world was just right. We were both happy. You were perfect. You were born with something called long QT. This means your heart beats different. You're special. You're not like everybody else. February of this year, 2025, me and your uncle Jeremiah, we were watching the USA versus Canada game, and you were playing with your cars at the living room window. And probably an hour or two into you just playing with cars, maybe an hour into the game, it's probably second period, you started to have a heart attack, or maybe it was an arrhythmia. I jumped on top of you. I did what's called a sternum rub. So if somebody ever starts to code like that, or if they start to not react to stimulus normally, they could be asleep, they could be out of it, they could be in a psychological state. I did what's called a sternum rub, so you rub them across the chest, and I noticed there was no response. And it's really hard for somebody to ignore a sternum rub. It's not, if you're daydreaming and I rub you on to give you a sternum rub, you're going to notice it. So you didn't respond, and I actually was so adrenaline dumping. I was so over it, over adrenaline induced, that I started just doing compressions and breathing. Didn't even look for a pulse, compressions and breathing, and you were on the couch, and every time I would breathe in and then push, you would slowly let out a faint cry, like an ah, like you were telling me you were still here, like you were still with me. I appreciate that. I'm so glad you're still here. You didn't really, I didn't really have much effect on the couch, so I moved you to the floor where it was harder, and I started doing compressions there. Uh, Maybe a minute into that is when you stopped really responding to me and your face turned blue. That got real scary, man. I kept doing compressions, and it started to take a turn for the worse, and pushing and then breathing and pushing. I didn't want to push so much that I break your ribs. Like, really, if you're doing CPR well enough, you're probably breaking somebody's ribs. I didn't do that. I pushed as well as I could, and you came back. It took a few minutes, but you came back. The ambulance was on the way. I put you on the ambulance. You were laughing. You were joking. You're very strong. I'm very proud of you. You've been through so much, and a lot of it was my fault. After you recovered, your mom and I, we reconciled. We didn't care. We just wanted to be together. We just wanted to be for you, be around you. But we'd argue, and we'd argue. Your mom would get really mad because I wasn't listening to her talk about my infidelity. That was the root of her rage, and I kept disregarding it because in my brain I only met up with this girl once, whatever, it wasn't a big deal. Turns out it was twice. I guess I'd whitewashed the whole thing in my brain. I was like, well, I met her once, yeah, it was your dad's truck. It was like the day we got back together. It was like a week after we got back together. That's pretty egregious. I'm embarrassed by that. Your mother was the love of my life, and I've lost her. She's with someone else now, and I'm broken. I'm really struggling, guys. And I'm sure in the future I can look back on this and laugh, but I don't know. I just wanted to upload this and let you know who your dad is. Back when I was in my 20s, I enlisted in the Army in what we called the Vid1. This was the Global War on Terror. I was what's called a 35 Tango. That means I was Army intelligence. I did something called signals intelligence or reconnaissance. We worked very close with airborne infantry and special operations in tracking high-value targets. My job in particular was bearing radios throughout an area in southeast Paktika, Afghanistan. This was a very deadly job. The guys that did this job at this base before us were killed doing it. Several of them, they were hit. I think they triggered an IED and they were killed. The cots we were sleeping in at night were the cots of these men that died. We had plenty of time to think about what would happen to us. I wrote plenty of letters home just in case it did. Your grandmother, my mother, Lexi Griggs, she was an angel. She had no idea what I was doing. I told her I was working on computers in Bagram. Bagram's a really big base, by the way. It was nice. It had a Baskin Robbins. It was relatively safe compared to a lot of the other places. So you could still die in Bagram, but a lot less likely. It was very secure. And I did work on Bagram for a while. So as far as Grandma was concerned, like, she really didn't know I was doing a bunch of cowboy shit with the infantry. So Daddy buried radios and worked with the infantry, and we lost some guys. One of my good friends, his name is Specialist Brown. He was 19 years old, and he was hit with a rocket-propelled grenade probably 20 feet away from me. And I can still see it, and I can taste it. And I don't want to put that on you. He was a good kid. He fought like a lion, man. He cussed like a sailor, and he could fucking fight. I was so proud to be a part of these guys. This was Delta Company 1187, Airborne Infantry. I was Rakkasan is what they're called. So I got back from deployment and lived a pretty boring life after that. I worked as an insurance salesman and drank a lot, hooked up a lot. Not proud of myself. I just drifted. And then I found your mother. And she was like an anchor. She was an anchor in my life. And I lost her. And now I'm just sort of drifting out to sea. And I don't think I'll ever get back. Your mother was the love of my life. And you guys are the love of my life. And I wouldn't change a damn thing. and she's happy, then I'm happy. I just miss her so much. Um, I drive a Chevelle. I'm not sure what it looks like when you guys are older, when you're watching this. Again, this is 2025. This needs paint. Hopefully it's not falling apart by the time you boys can drive it. I'm not sure which one of you guys want the car. Hopefully by then we have more cars. This thing was very special to me. But I need you guys to be strong for your mother. I need you guys to be smart and capable for your mother, for yourselves. Life is going to be hard, and we have to hit the ground running. Magnus, you have a heart condition, but that can't keep you from hard work. You're not allowed to avoid hard work. You can't dive into cold water head first. That's just a rule. You can't. You should avoid being startled a lot because your heart can be triggered. So what we need to do is practice meditation a lot. We need to get you capable of dealing with the things in life that they tell you shouldn't be able to be capable of. We need to get you ready and well, aware of the thing that you're going to have to battle your whole life. Lucas, you're going to have to look after your brother. This is not choice. This is not an option, and I'm sorry for this. I wish there was something I can do to have changed it. It broke your mother's heart when she found out you had long QT. I was sitting there, and I've only heard her cry like that once. I know this story is kind of bouncing all over the place, but it's just the first video. I'll upload more. I'm new to this. I don't do this often. Your mom has a YouTube channel, and she's very good at this. She can smile and make jokes, and this isn't that. With any luck, I can edit this and maybe add some great B footage. You know, shooting, driving the car, whatever. Just now, I was talking to your Uncle James on the phone. We were in a documentary called Psychedelic Soldiers. After we got back from the war, we struggled, both of us. I was living in Colorado. He was living in Colorado. We didn't know each other until we went through this therapy, which involved using psychedelics to treat PTSD. In particular, a psychedelic known as MDMA. This is called ecstasy. And it was pretty wild. MDMA worked really well. It helped a lot. I would recommend, like, if we were going to do that regularly, it'd be kind of an every 6 months or every year kind of thing, because unfortunately I've fallen right back into a lot of trauma. A lot of things will trigger me that probably shouldn't. Not like fireworks or anything. I don't get triggered by that. I go to the shooting range and I smell gunpowder. I hear gunshots all the time, and it's nice. It's actually kind of a good PTSD, if there's such a thing. If you're ever in the military, Lucas, Magnus, you can't join the Army, and I'm sorry for that. You can't join the military. Lucas, if you ever find yourself in the military, you're going to see more often than not that those days at the range, maybe nights at the range, you're nostalgic. Some of my best memories with my friends was camping out at the range or all day shooting. I was with a unit once where they ordered a pallet of ammunition for our battalion. Do you know how much a pallet of ammunition is? And we couldn't just go give it back to the armorer for some reason. I don't know why. So we spent the night at the range. This was at Fort Lewis, Washington. It was beautiful, and it was amazing. And we fell asleep to gunfire, and you woke up to gunfire when it was your turn, and we qualified, and it was just amazing. Those memories are precious to me, and they've made me what I am, for better or worse. And I'm sorry, it's typically for worse. Your daddy has a lot of trauma. Your dad's been through a lot, and it was of my own doing. Luckily, my childhood was beautiful, but it's like God just chooses some of us to be fighters. It's like the universe just wants some of us to be pulled to the side to say, you're not a husband. You're not even a dad. You're not even a dad. You're a sack of meat. You're made for the fight. And every day since I've gotten out of the Army has been misery. Except when I had you guys, and I had your mother. But I'm so lost. I'm lost without her. I'm so embarrassed. And I don't know what to do. So I'll pour everything into being a father. I'll pour everything in being the best version of a guy I can be that you can admire, and I don't know how you're going to do that because I don't admire me. I really hope I edit this appropriately so I don't look like such a crying nothing. I love you guys. I miss your mother. I wish you could have met your grandparents on my side. My mom, Lexi Griggs, was amazing. She was an angel. My dad, Michael Griggs, was a captain in the Army. Your grandfather on my side was a captain in the Army. He was a good man, and he died when I was 3. I never got to know him. I didn't even get to know his voice, so I guess that's why I'm doing this. I think this first video I'm just not even going to edit. I'm just going to upload after I do this, just blind. Of course, editing makes things nicer and prettier, and you cut to points really well, and you can have background footage. I'm just going to upload this. I love you guys. I hope you get to see this in 10 years. I hope you get to see this in 20 years and laugh at me. I hope it looks silly in my fashion. I hope you think the garage is crazy because how cluttered it is. I don't know if you can see this. It's a freaking mess. But I love you guys so much. Magnus and Lucas, you're my life. You're my heart. Your mother was the blood in my veins. And I think by uploading these videos, it may help just to get it out of my system. And Danielle, if I ever see you again, or you ever see this, you need to know I'm sorry. You didn't deserve any of it, any of that pain. I know you're happy now, and I'm happy for you. And I'm sorry I ever lost you. I never deserved you, so I love all you guys. I'm going to keep making these videos. I can't do anything else. I do start school in a few months, so that's neat. I'm going to go to CTC and do some aviation. I've got to start from the ground up, which means college algebra and physics and air traffic control and meteorology. And oh my God, I did this in Colorado, and air traffic control is absolutely ridiculous. It is very complicated. Like, what the hell is a transponder? Like, they'll start talking about instrumentation in planes, but I didn't do ground school, so it was like, you know, cart before the horse. Like, how do I learn this? But I did okay. I think because the teacher was nice. Same with physics. I did pretty good in physics. So I would encourage you guys at a young age to do language and math as much as you can. Language and math, track and field, language and math, track and field, language and math. This is important. This is not going to be a choice. Lucas especially, you're going to be driven through the ringer. You're going to know wrestling. Magnus too, as much as I can make your heart push, I'm going to push you. Please don't leave us again. You're going to have to be pushed. You're going to have to know how to wrestle. You're going to have to know how to grind. You're going to have to know what it feels like to lose a fight. But please, please keep your heart beating for me. We can't afford to lose you. You're my baby. So I need you to fight. I need you to keep fighting. And we love you. And I'm sorry for the tears. I just recently found out your mom is with someone else, and it's just broken me. I think this is a way I can do a therapy in a way. I can talk to the screen. I can talk to nobody. I can talk to the world. I love you, kids, more than life itself. And not all the videos are going to be like this. This is a rough patch, man. I'm just dealing with some things. Your mom is my sweetheart. And there's nobody else for me. So, I love you guys. Please don't make fun of me for crying. Or make fun of me for crying. Fuck it, you know. I love you more than life itself. I'm very proud of you. Alright, till next time.